Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to the channel. If you're new, of course, hope you had a good weekend, and welcome to yet another video that Ethereum just broke out. Which sometimes I find it a little bit funny because I've made a lot of videos with the title "Ethereum just broke out," this and that. But that's just, I mean, Ethereum does break out every once in a while. And it did again, all right? We got the bullish breakout. If you remember my video yesterday, to do a bit of a recap on that before talking about what's going on right now and what you need to know, while I also prepare some other charts. What I said yesterday is that we were waiting for a breakout with Ethereum, right? I mean, you can see right here as well, if it loads up, that Ethereum was having some nice balance in this area right here. So we were looking for a breakout out of that balance. And what happened during the opening of the Asian session is we tried to break out, right? And that is what we are still doing right now, or at least what we are in the middle of right now. We're in the middle of validating whether this is a real breakout or a fake breakout, which is definitely a possibility, given the fact that it's the start of a new week. Most of this happened before the New York, before the US market opened today. So this can definitely still reverse. Now, what I also said yesterday is that I thought it was a little bit more likely, a little bit more likely that we would get the bearish breakdown. And the main reason for why I said that is the same reason for why we got a bullish breakout, and that is fundamental stability. All right, we actually got some positive news regarding trade relations between the US and Canada. That was one of the major things that I also spoke about in the weekend of, this could actually be pretty bad for the markets, but that was resolved, or at least it's been improved. It's not completely resolved yet, but that has caused the stock markets to absolutely rally again, or absolutely rally to open higher again. All right, and the volatility index, etc. It's opened a little bit higher, but it also seems quite likely that that's going to remain low. So that has enabled Ethereum to break out right here. Now, I think there's still reasons to be slightly cautious, right? That's also what I said at the start. I mean, this is a Monday morning. Price action on the Monday morning is always less trustworthy. But outside of that, technically, ETH has also not been able to break above this key resistance level for ETH BTC, right? So this is the main level that it needs to reclaim to actually have some sort of technical evidence that Ethereum can outperform Bitcoin, which it has done over the course of the last hour, because you can, if you take a look at Bitcoin right here, it tried to break out and it failed. And Ethereum tried to break out, and so far it's holding, right? We broke above the 200 EMA, and we got a very nice reaction to that. But you can also see that right here, we left some single prints right here, and we left a fair value gap down here for Ethereum. It went down to fill those imbalances, and so far, like we know that Ethereum is trying to break out, is trying to go up, and then we should ask the question, is it doing a good job of doing that? And I would argue so far, yes. It dropped down to fill the major imbalances, which, by the way, with that drop, we also left some imbalances to the upside, so that's pretty good. And so far, the reaction to that is quite good as well. Like, we spiked down, and so far, we're finding support. So as it stands, I do need to warn you that, if fundamentals change and if we get some bad news, then you should definitely be aware that we can just as well turn this into a fake out and one big drop down. As it stands right now, look, even though ETH BTC hasn't really broken out yet, it looks pretty good to break out a bit later. And this looks like a real breakout. Volume was actually quite good as well. So therefore, I think we have to assume this is a real breakout. I think it's most likely it's going to hold, and I think there's major resistance right here with all sorts of point of controls, but a lot of liquidity around 2530. But I do think it's most likely will rally up to the yearly rolling VWAP at 2650 at some point of time after this breakout, and that therefore this is a real breakout. But I'll keep you updated on that. For now, I think that's what you need to know. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.